Good evening, all. Every year, 8th of March is celebrated as International Women's Day. This year, the theme is Realizing Women's Rights, I Am Generational Equality. On this occasion, Narayana Multispeciality Hospital Mysuru is conducting a discussion over women's related issue in health sector. I welcome our successful obstetricians Dr. Savita and Dr. Aarti to this discussion program. Hello, ma'am. Being a successful professional yourself, how significant you think is celebration of Women's Day?
Good evening to all and good evening Dr. Disha. Actually, I would like to thank Narayana Hridayalaya for conducting this discussion. For your question, like I want to like split it into two parts. One is like being successful as an in our career. One is like I should tell I'm lucky enough to have an been successful in this profession because I'm lucky to have an been won the ovarian lottery. What I say, not many of us are not, fortunate enough to be born with the same opportunities or the same environment to for their growth. We as blessed women, we should help those who are less fortunate than us to bring them up. Not means they may have the talent with them, but they may not be able to come up. So we should like help them, give a boost to them to come up in life. And your next part is celebrating this Women's Day. Actually, history says that the Women's Day was started celebrating because women were given a right to vote, which was a very basic right. What I means, I'm not like, but we have come far off. We're like 100 to 200 years. We have grown up, and I think we should start not celebrating this as an Women's Day. It's not like you wish a lady Women's Day on 8th March and start abusing her on from 9th March. It should be like each and every human being should respect each other, let it be a male or a female, respect their boundaries, respect their wishes, and come up in life. That is more, and I think than celebrating this, having separate Women's Day or a Men's Day, we should have it as a human being day, or rather being a being human day. We are human beings, but we have not stopped acting like being humans.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
So, how is gender inequality influencing women in health aspects?
Yeah, in health aspects, it is there's a lot of difference between females and the males. Earlier, the women were lacking behind of education or the poverty. They were not able to receive the healthcare facilities as and when required. But now the scenario is not so. Now the women are being well educated and they are well aware of all the situations now, and they are coming forward for getting for their personal things. They are coming forward to get the healthcare facilities. But still, there is some still inequality is going on. That is, for an example, still a preference of having a male baby in the first pregnancy is still continued. And coming to the contraception wise, still the females are being forced to use contraception. That is, the females are forced to have tubectomy compared to the males, where the percentage of vasectomies are less. And coming to the infertility couples also, the in family, the other family members, they force the girl to get under girl to get the investigation done, and lot of treatments are going on for the patient, for the girl itself. Rather, it is like infertility is, male partner contributes about 10 to 15% of infertility, in whom it is not evaluated properly. Okay, so this is what I wanted to stress about. So there's a difference between male and the female in coming to the health sectors.
Yes, ma'am. So, on as we are discussing about health issues, what are some of the major disorders faced by women in teenage and pregnancy?
Teenage, you say like nowadays we have started having early menarche. Maybe our grandmother or mother would have started attaining menarche at the age of 14 or 16. Maybe we at in our generation it was around like 12 to 14, but now the beginning of this menarche has started very early. Like even a 8-year-old girl or a 10-year-old girl, who is hardly a third standard student or a fourth standard student, she will not be able to understand what it is. That is the first issue, and it is not been means the first is parents themselves find it very hard to teach the girls. Girls are very, they are like not so mature enough to understand it. That's the main problem. And another thing is nowadays we have a superstition, like once you start menstruating they are being separated. It's still followed in Karnataka, that too in some remote villages it's still followed. So like they are kept separate from their home, where they don't even have a proper toilet facility. Left around, the hygiene is very poor, the food what is given is very less. Sometimes they have to cook food for themselves, means they are not being taken proper care. And one thing is they should be given a proper emotional support, which is also not given. That is one thing. And another is they are not able to attend schools when they have menarche. They are like 3 to 5 days they are being separated, isolated from home, from schools. They are losing their marks. That is one thing is there. And nowadays we have started having teenage pregnancies. That is another issue. People one we it parents find it hard to teach children, talk to them about sex or intercourse. And then what happens is they start experimenting. So one thing is, yeah, you are parent, and one thing is a child should find herself like it, whatever be the scenario, she should be able to go and talk to her parents. We should cultivate such an environment. You are parent as well as a friend to the child. And for the pregnancy, first of all, as Savita told, it's finding the remote, even in urban areas also, maybe because of the financial constraint or the patient being a female herself, they may not be able to come to the hospital. They may means they may not be able to come because of the finance or for the transport reasons or the negligence of the other family members. One thing is they don't reach hospitals on time. They just need, we are all nurturers, we just start ignoring our health problems and take care of all the family. It continues even during pregnancy. We like give food to everyone, and whatever is remaining is what the lady takes. Let it be undernourished food with not proper nutrients in it, but still patients consume that. So we should like teach the family member that the pregnant lady requires emotional support and her health should be taken care of. And whatever the signs are there, the alarming signs both should be taught to the family members also, so that they can bring the patient to the hospital on time, yeah, for the regular checkups as well as at any point like she goes in labor or something like that.
Any opinion on the recent MTP Act?
Actually, it's a very good one. Earlier, at least these people, our earlier act was like MTP up to 20 weeks. Now, the Indian government of India has made it up to 24 weeks, so that many people don't go and get it done from a quack and land up in all mortality or morbidity continuing throughout her lifespan. So that is one thing. Only thing is we shouldn't start misusing it, like you start gender seeing the gender and then finding out that it is a female baby and going in for an MTP. Don't, you shouldn't, you misuse it. It's a good act. At least we should start acting properly as an what they say, as a responsible citizens, so that we follow this strictly and and already our male to female ratio is declining. And so we not end up that we have only males in this earth, and maybe our species will only stop propagating that.
So there is so much ignorance regarding menopause and cancers relating to women. Can you please tell us some issues about it?
Yes, there are some gynae problems which are seen in reproductive age group also, and the postmenopausal symptoms are also more common nowadays in women. Coming to the reproductive age group, the most common symptom what they present to us is menstrual problems and vaginal discharge and backache. So the menstrual problem, basically the normal menstrual cycle is considered that is occurring every 28 to 30 days. Any bleeding occurring less than 20 days or occurring after 35 days has to be evaluated. Any bleeding which is lasting for more than 8 days associated with clots and pain abdomen, severe pain abdomen has to be evaluated. And any other alternative types of bleeding like intermenstrual bleeding, postcoital bleeding has to be evaluated, because there are some cervical lesions which are localized present in the cervix, which has to be seen by an obstetrician or by the gynecologist, has to be evaluated. And most more commonly, history of postcoital bleeding is like there is a chances of having cervical cancers, which has to be inspected first, then evaluated and treated. Coming to the vaginal discharge, it is a myth that every time the lady comes with a vaginal discharge, there is lot of vaginal discharge. Vaginal discharge is common during reproductive age group. It has to be commonly present around the time of menstruation and 14 days prior to the menstruation. That is common. So only we tell it is infected when the lady has, with the vaginal discharge, there is associated itching, foul smelling discharge and associated urinary tract infection. Then only she has to consult a gynecologist, has to be seen by a doctor and treated appropriately, so that the severity can be controlled. And as we all know that there are a lot of bacterial and viral infection which cause the vaginal infections. Most importantly, the viral infections are more at risk of having an cervical cancer, especially the human papilloma virus. And coming to the backache, a lot of ladies nowadays, as we all said, the ladies are very busy in looking after their family and they are not so concentrating on their health. So we 100 times prefer to tell them that take adequate rest and take whatever medications during antenatal period or after delivery, whatever medications we prescribe them, they have to at least complete that. That is because of a deficiency of the calcium, they may have the back pain, or that is always the lady understands that backache is because of LACS injection. That is what is the spinal they have given. They always think that is the reason that she is having a backache, but the fact is different, that basically she is becoming weak, she is lagging the calcium levels. And so if she concentrate on those issues, then I think those all symptoms will come down. Coming to the menopausal symptoms, we always say ladies attained menopause only after she has not got her periods for at least 1 year. Okay, so 1 year she has not got her periods, that time we call it as a menopause. This menopause occurs at the age of from 50 to 55 years. That's a median age where she attained menopause. And sometime there is early menopause also, which is seen at 40 years of age group. After this menopause, what happens? The estrogen levels which are secreted by the ovaries get stop producing the estrogen. Because of low estrogen level, there are symptoms associated with this low estrogen, like especially more commonly the symptoms of hot flushes, vaginal dryness and sleep deprivation. Because of lack of sleep, they always feel distressed, depressed, and a lot of mood swings are there. So always there is a treatment for this also. A lady having a lot of hot flushes and all, it depends upon the symptomatic treatment, as well as the hormonal replacement therapy is there for them. But each and every treatment like hormone replacement therapy also has advantage and disadvantage of having risk of having malignancies if we use more amount of this hormone replacement therapy.
Being an employee yourself, how is the working environment in NH? What are the benefits women are getting here?
As such, I feel I'm very fortunate, and as everyone should be fortunate enough to work in this organization. Our female employees, as such, our employees have an yearly annual health check, which is done free of cost. They don't have to pay anything. They have a consultation with any consultant of their choice with a zero billing. They can go undergo any test under zero billing. That is one thing. We take care of our employees here, let it be male or a female. That is one thing. Next is we have a very safe work environment. We have an act called POSH, that is Prevention of Sexual Harassment Policy. We have zero tolerance against the perpetrator or whoever does that. Strict actions are taken, and still date we haven't heard any such problems. But still, the act is still, policy is still in place, and it keeps an check on anyone. Okay, and the committee members are also available 24 hours with the means they are you can call them anytime. That is one thing. And then we have a very good maternity leave. Maternity leave policy of about 6 months is given to the lady. Even sometimes they are even allowed to go, and after they come back and join us, even they are given a rest or a day in a day, 1 or 2 hours in the working hours, so that they can go and feed the baby and come back. So as such, our attrition rate is very less. Yeah, even after they come back from their maternity leave.
How important is to have creche facilities in the working place?
Actually, it's a very good question. And the thing is, usually nowadays, only in India, we only corporates have this creche facility. It's still not come into the hospital environment. But I feel having a creche is very good. In our hospital, our attrition rate is less, but still having a creche will give an sort of moral support or the emotional support to the lady when she comes back. She can even come back after 6 months, maybe leave it. She may not be worried about that. She about the baby who she can anytime just we can go into the creche, look after her baby, or at least have a look and come back and join us. And maybe for the other employees also, we may have stress relief once in a while. After 2 hours you are busy, just go to a creche, walk, look at your those faces, you will be at least refreshed. I feel having a creche is a very good idea.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can you please tell us some of the initiatives taken by NH regarding women's awareness or health programs?
Yes, here in NH, we are conducting free cervical screening, that is pap smear. We are doing it every month in the first week of every month. And every month, every Friday, we do a free breast cancer screening, that is mammography is being done associated with the pap smear also. Along with that, in coordination with the oncology department as well as the gynec department. And we also have health checkups for the women, like executive health checkups, well women health checkups are also there. And we also have the clinics like infertility clinics and menopause clinics. And we are all this in NH. We are all well equipped with a lot of facilities, like 24 hours emergency facilities are there, and well-equipped OTs facilities are there, and labor ward also. And we also have around the clock doctors available in ICU department also, so that we can manage high risk pregnancies also. Coming to the gynec cases, which we are doing minimal invasive surgeries in NH, where the facilities cannot be available outside, not everywhere it's not available there. So all the, which is also considered as an cosmetic surgery. So we are doing many of the gynec cases with laparoscopy. So which is will be very benefit or useful to the females.
India ranks 112th in Gender Gap Index. This reminds us that gender equality is not just upliftment of women but also creating awareness among men regarding women's rights. On this note, I would like to thank Dr. Savita and Dr. Aarti for throwing light on some of the important aspects relating to women's health. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.